Now at 5, charges are filed against 2 juvenile suspects in the Kansas City victory rally shooting. Plus, the city of Joplin begins discussions on building a new justice center. And
former President Donald Trump ordered to pay more than $350 million in connection to his civil fraud trial. I'm Cristian Benavides with the additional penalties the judge imposed.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Kansas City authorities charged 2 juvenile suspects in the Chiefs victory rally shooting. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Tanya Bach. The juveniles face gun-related and resisting arrest charges, though additional charges are expected. Authorities say it appears the shooting started because of a dispute and resulted in the death of a woman and injuries to 22 other people. 3 people were taken initially into custody after the shooting, but one was released after it was determined they were not involved. The city of Joplin is discussing the future of a new justice center. They say the current facilities housing the fire department, police department, city jail, and municipal court are no longer suitable for the growing needs of the city. Officials say staff members are currently having to combine offices and are dealing with a lack of storage space, amongst other issues.
At present, we have outgrown the facilities that we currently have. We're busting at the seams, and in order to keep providing the public with a level of service that they have become accustomed to, we require a new facility.
Well, city staff say while a new facility is still in the discussion phase, Joplin voters may see the facility on the August ballot. To learn more about what facility needs Joplin has, visit our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. According to Forbes, the average cost of rent in Missouri is $1,050 a month. Missouri Department of Revenue says the average annual salary in Missouri is $46,000, meaning on average, Missourians are putting close to a quarter of their paycheck into housing alone. There are those in our community who are no longer able to work and have to rely on retirement and Social Security. But even that isn't enough to keep them afloat and have had to turn to local charities for help.
And it just wasn't enough money to pay all the bills, and the rent didn't get paid. And I had St. Vincent's de Paul gave us $200, and Salvation Army gave us $100.
Francis says he and his wife Deborah only owe on their February rent due to an error made by Social Security, but have already received a letter saying if the bill is not paid in full by the 21st, they could be evicted. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us with a first look at weather.
So temperatures have dropped today following the cold front we had just north of us. We saw a little bit of snow in some of our northern counties, and we see temperatures in the mid to lower 30s right now, and they're going to continue to drop as we move into the overnight hours. Clouds in the area, and other than that, we don't see any more rain or snow in the forecast for the next several days. So yes, we have another break. However, these wind chill factors are bitterly cold as we move into tomorrow. Starting out Saturday, 5 a.m., it's in the teens, and then we're going to continue to drop, getting to the single digits and even lower than that. But I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. A major legal and financial setback for former President Donald Trump today after the judge in his civil fraud case announced massive penalties. Christian Benavides reports from the New York courthouse.
A New York judge has ordered former President Donald Trump and his co-defendants to pay more than $350 million. The ruling also bars Trump from running any company in New York for 3 years.
Judge Arthur Angoron released a decision 4 months after finding Trump had committed fraud by inflating his assets and net worth, all to get better terms on loans and insurance. New York Attorney General Letitia James had argued the former president should be banned from doing business in New York.
We have produced evidence about the scope, the scale, the depth, the breadth of the illegality, the fraud that impersonally enriched Donald Trump and his family.
Throughout the trial, the former president denied wrongdoing, clashed with the judge, and slammed the case as a witch hunt.
He said the prosecution was part of a political crusade.
It's all a conspiracy to try and get Biden, who can't put 2 sentences together, trying to get him into office.
The judge also banned sons Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump from running a corporation in New York for 2 years, saying they intentionally falsified business records. The former president and his co-defendants are expected to appeal. Christian Benavides, CBS News, New York.
3 civil lawsuits that seek to hold former President Donald Trump responsible for the January 6th siege on the U.S. Capitol can go forward. The lawsuits from U.S. Capitol police officers and Democratic lawmakers were given the green light by a federal appeals court in December. Lawyers for Trump did not meet yesterday's deadline to ask the U.S. Supreme Court to determine if their client is protected by presidential immunity. Russian state media reports opposition leader Alexei Navalny died in prison today. Navalny repeatedly denounced Russian President Vladimir Putin and even survived a previous poisoning attempt, which Navalny blamed on Putin. U.S. officials say the death is suspicious, with President Biden blaming Putin. Still ahead, technology and the body.
Using artificial intelligence to help your heart. I'm Ian Lee with scientists developing a new tool to help detect disease.
Plus, how Mercy plans to grow medical services in Pittsburgh after taking over Via Christi Hospital. Topping today's Health Watch, Mercy health officials say they plan to expand primary care services when they take over Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh. It was announced yesterday the hospital would be transferring from Ascension to Mercy. We spoke with the president of Mercy, Joplin, today about what their plan is for the hospital going forward and how it will impact health insurance for patients.
Insurance at all. We obviously the governmental payers will be across the piece of it. We don't see any issues with any payers as far as insurance be able to take care of patients either in Kansas or in Missouri. We take care of a lot of patients from Kansas already, and so we don't have any issues.
Drinkwitz also says Mercy plans to bring in some additional specialists to its Pittsburgh facilities. Well, scientists in the UK are using artificial intelligence to better detect heart disease. As cardiovascular disease kills 1 in 6 people globally, researchers hope new technology will help everyone live a longer, heart-healthy life. Ian Lee reports from London.
Under a microscope, these lab-grown cells show a healthy beating heart, while these cells show one that's damaged. Doctors can see the difference and hope artificial intelligence will too, and more quickly.
And as these hearts in the dish age, we can predict which of these will age healthily versus which of these will age detrimentally.
At this London lab, miniature stem cell hearts are helping scientists explore how cells in the heart become faulty as we age.
The way they contract is very important because the function of the heart is to pump blood around the body.
By utilizing AI, researchers at University of East London hope to accelerate diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of age-related heart disease.
Because once they do become damaged, it's very hard for that to become a reversible process.
Researchers are training AI to recognize the way the heart beats in minute detail, detecting changes in the shape of the cells better than a doctor.
So if we can identify ways of trying to remove those detrimental cardiac heart cells, we're hopefully able to keep the heart functioning as we want it to.
A new tool to help keep the old ticker ticking even longer. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Researchers say the tiny lab-grown hearts are made from human stem cells and destroyed after 28 days. Research into long COVID is getting a substantial funding boost. The National Institutes of Health announced it will add more than $500 million to the budget of a nationwide long COVID initiative. The program already had a budget of more than $1 billion. More than 90,000 adults and children are participating in studies that could help understand and treat the disease. That's a look at today's health news. A little later, how the 66 Drive-In Theater in Carthage is getting ready for the upcoming season.
And up next, we'll talk about the bitterly cold wind chills and other stuff up next. So we may have seen some flurries in the northern counties this morning, but right now it's completely cleared out of here. We're just dealing with some overcast conditions. Taking a look at our outside camera indigo sky, Casino and Resort, we see those clouds. It's a dreary day and pretty cold, and we're going to get even colder as we move into tomorrow. Taking a look outside, we don't see any rain or snow on the forecast for the next several days, so it's going to be pretty nice beginning of our week. Temperatures are dropping, pretty chilly tonight with our overnight low being 21 degrees. So way below freezing. If you see any rain puddles out there, they will refreeze tonight, and clouds do clear as we move into the overnight hours. Now, as I said, 21 degrees is our overnight low, but these wind chill values are even lower than that. Starting 5 a.m. on Saturday, they're going to be in the mid-teens, and then as we continue into later in the day, they're going to be even colder. By 9 a.m., wind chill values are in these single digits, and by 2 p.m., we're looking at -2, -1, and 0 degree wind chill factors. So very bitterly cold as we move into Saturday. These will start to lighten up, and we'll get into warmer conditions as we move into early next week. Starting your day tomorrow, we will see the sun again. Clouds are still here and there as we move throughout the morning, but the sun will come out. Temperatures are still pretty cold, with our over in the midday high being in the mid-30s. We're going to take a look at these 36-hour previous trend for the temperature, and we see it started off Thursday 5 a.m. 48 degrees, dropped a bit as we moved into the Thursday overnight hours. That's when the snow and rain mix came in. Then as our high Thursday, we came 53 and continued to drop. We're continuing all the way down to 33 degrees by 5 p.m. today, and it's just going to get even colder. Now, this low is out of our way, and we're continuing in with a ridge. Then we see a slight trough right over in Omaha. That's bringing some clouds into our area. This is Monday in the morning. No rain associated with this, just some clouds, but as that moves out of the way, we are going to see a wide ridge form over our area. That's bringing in those warmer temperatures that we're going to see at the beginning of next week. And then continuing, we do see some more rain later into the week. Thursday, we'll start to see it pop up. Temperatures are good. 60, 50, it's going to be pretty nice as we move into the week, and then the showers pop up in the southern counties, getting pretty heavy and then making their way off of the east coast. Then we're going to see temperatures warm back up. Friday 58, Saturday cooling off a bit with some more light showers on Sunday. Now Wednesday and Thursday, those are going to be heavier showers, mostly just in our southern counties, and then they'll quickly fade off. Thursday clearing by mid-afternoon.
It's going to be a cold weekend.
Very cold weekend, bitterly cold.
Yeah, I like what the temperatures look like better than what they're going to feel like, though.
Yes, they're going to be in the mid-30s as we continue through Sunday, but with those wind chills being below 0, it'll be pretty cold.
Ooh, ouch. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, the 66 Drive-In Theater in Carthage, Missouri is already planning its next season, but attendees might notice one slight difference in their visits this year: the price. Now, this season, because of inflation and movie prices, ticket rates will go up. According to the theater owner, this is the first time in 7 years ticket prices are adjusted.
The traditions are great. I mean, they just work as far as how we open the gates, the concession stand that we run, the entertainment that we have. We're thinking about maybe doing some different stuff in the heat of the summer, maybe a Thursday night run for some family fun nights. But we always try different things and different opportunities, and we'll just see how it goes.
Well, the season is projected to start at the end of March, and here's what the prices will be looking like. Tickets for ages 13 and up will go from $8 to $10. Ages 6 to 12 will now pay $5, $1 more than the previous rate. Not too bad. Well, coming up, we'll have some tips for people struggling to pay back their student loans. Topping today's Consumer Watch, wholesale inflation rose in January more than expected. The Producer Price Index increased 0.3%, bringing the annual increase to 0.9%. Economists had predicted a 0.7% gain for the year. Roughly 43 million Americans have outstanding federal student loan debt totaling more than $1.6 trillion. President Biden has already forgiven billions in student loan debt, And his administration hopes to expand that relief with a new proposal released just yesterday. Nancy Chen has been looking into this, and she has some tips for anyone out there who's struggling.
With 2 master's degrees, high school teacher Raquel Perry has always prioritized education, and she has the bills to prove it.
How much do you owe?
$307,000.
When you see that amount written out, what do you think?
How am I ever going to pay this back?
The 30-year-old mother pivoted careers after getting laid off during the pandemic, but says her teacher's salary in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania can't cover all the costs.
It's hard to think about student loan payments, foods, electricity, water.
Perry and about 40% of borrowers missed their payments when student loan bills resumed last fall for the first time in more than 3 years after being on hold during the pandemic. While there won't be late fees for a 1-year grace period, Betsy Mayotte, who heads a nonprofit of student loan advisors, warns interest is still building.
What are the consequences or risks in not addressing this issue?
Not addressing your student loan payments, it's going to cost you a lot more money over time. If the loan ends up defaulting, it's going to be a big hit on your credit, which means that future debt that you need to take on, a mortgage, a credit card, a car loan, is likely going to have a much higher interest rate.
While everyone's situation is different, all federal loans offer an interest rate discount for auto pay. For some, up to $2,500, and annual interest could be written off on tax returns. And the government has constantly evolving programs that can reduce or eliminate loans, with options available through the online loan simulator.
According to one study, the average U.S. household with student debt owes about $55,000. Because government plans to cut that debt are frequently changing, it could be incredibly beneficial to see where you stand today, even if you already have a strategy in place. Again, the biggest takeaway is to at least come up with a plan, which that online government loan simulator is great for. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
Well, Target is taking aim at budget-conscious customers with a new value brand. Dealworthy rolls out this month to shelves at Target stores nationwide and online. The brand will include 400 items. Most will cost less than $10, with the cheapest coming in at under $1. The inventory ranges from phone chargers to disposable plates and even underwear. Final check of the forecast is next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, Steve Hartman bids farewell to his so-called work spouse. How these relationships help make our jobs more meaningful. And then on KOAM News at 6, we'll hear from the family of the woman who was killed in the Kansas City Victory Rally shooting. Plus more on plans to bring a new justice center to Joplin. And it's a COC showdown in Webb City as the Cardinals take on Nixa to see which team remains undefeated in conference play. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Well, humans aren't the only animals who like to tease each other for fun. A new international study suggests our primate cousins enjoy the habit as well. Scientists looked at video footage of chimps, orangutans, bonobos, and gorillas interacting at zoos in San Diego and Germany. The researchers found 18 different teasing behaviors, including body slamming, poking, hindering movement, and pulling on each other's hair. Well, the researchers say they rarely observed an aggressive reaction from the target. Even with the body slamming, that's pretty rough.
Oh, yeah.
Final check of the forecast.
So we do have some really cold temperatures moving into tomorrow, with the wind chill bringing it down to below 0. It's going to be pretty cold tomorrow, but then looking ahead to the beginning of next week, temperatures warm back up 72 degrees by Wednesday, just in time for some late showers Wednesday, early showers on Thursday.
Roller coaster forecast. Roller coaster. That's what I was saying. Okay. I was like, caster. That didn't make sense. All right. Thanks, Lindsay. Well, thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. Of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6, and we'll see you then. Have a great evening and an even better weekend.